Is it me, or has it gone a bit quiet on the old alien front? I don't follow mainstream news, so I don't know what the mainstream is saying. But we had, a few months ago, just before Christmas I think it was, a flurry of UFO sightings, or whatever the new letters they use these days. I'm sticking with unidentified flying objects rather than, as I say, whatever the other letters are. Keep changing their mind, don't they? And it's all gone a bit quiet on that, although I don't think that concept is going to go away in terms of a psyop. So I want to approach this by asking you, because I've heard a lot of this subject and I'm not really convinced, about the Anunnaki. And the Anunnaki, apparently the Anunnaki are some sort of alien. Well, I gather that it's not a race of, defined people from outer space. It's just another word for spacemen or alien creatures or people coming down, or a superior race and what have you. And as I understand it, the theory goes that the Anunnaki came down, and I say the Anunnaki, I mean, when people use that, it does sound like a specific type of race or specific type of creature, which I have trouble with, really, because where's the evidence for any of this? Anyway, these space creatures, whatever they were, the Anunnaki, as they're called, came down to our little planet, assuming it's a planet, and they sort of made man from a number of other bits of man, or whatever was roaming around, from what I understand, edited their DNA to make us a bit dim, and we're supposed to have been used as miners, not small children. I mean, people who go down in the ground and dig things out for gold. Apparently they wanted the gold. And I do question all of this nonsense, really, because you'd think if there was gold on this planet, there'd be gold somewhere else. I can't imagine that it's a unique thing. But anyway, I don't want to get drawn into all of this. The point is, we human beings, whatever we are, this physical thing, is, so they say, is that we've been edited. We've had our DNA edited, and that we were in effect manufactured. That's one kind of concept that's out there, which I think is a load of old nonsense, really. This is going to upset some people, and they'll start going, "Oh, Richard, you don't know half the stuff." Well, I'd like to firstly see all the evidence. I mean, there's a lot of conjecture. There's a lot of this tablet that was, somewhere, and this story over here means this, that, and the other. You see, I personally think that we're being led down the garden path because of another psyop that's coming. And I'll get to that in a minute. First of all, do I think that we are edited creatures? No, I don't. And the reason for that is purely that if you meditate, if you sit in the silence, if you take yourself and go to your inner self, we are not just a physical being. We are something far more than that. We are, in fact, some form of consciousness. We have attention. And I've spoken about this before, and many people speak about this, that if you chop your arm off, you're not any lesser you. If you chop your legs off, you're no lesser you. You are effectively not your body. Now, Mary Shelley put forward a story and a notion and a question, really, in her book Frankenstein, is it possible, and in her story it apparently is, to grab all the bits of various people, stick them all together, and then with a stroke of electricity make it come to life. And it's that life force. I don't believe that anybody has managed to gather bits of bodies, glue them all together in some way, or build something and then create life. from nothing. That spark of life is, I believe, not within our control, and not within the control of the Anunnaki who came and created us, as they say. I don't believe that at all. I think that's poppycock, really. But I think that people are being, what shall we say, encouraged to go down and look at that path, encouraged to find evidence for that, for a psyop further along the line in linear history, for Project Bluebeam, and that this will be the next, at some point, this will come back into the national consciousness. And it is by these drip feeds of going, oh yeah, there were these creatures and they went away and they keep coming back and all of this. And, where is the evidence of it? Now, there may be some people out there watching and say, Richard, you're just barking up the wrong tree. There is plenty of evidence for this, and perhaps you can, send me links, but don't send me links to people just pontificating about it. I want to really know that it happened. And then perhaps that is where the difficulty comes, because how do you prove anything without conjecture and such and forth? Anyway, I'm rambling a little bit here because this is a subject which is difficult. I'm no expert in this, and so this is just an opinion, and you may think, Richard, you're spouting a load of rubbish, which probably I am. Because when you sit in the silence and when you meditate, you realise that you are more than your body, you're more than your mind, and you're more than your intellect, and you're more than your emotions and thoughts. That you are something more than that. That there is a spark of life, that you are in fact everything. And when you meditate, you realise there is actually nothing else. Time ceases. Time, the I am, the ego, if it is, not the ego of personality, but the I, just seems to flow. And therefore, time, it doesn't exist. There's just eternity. It's just am. It's just being. And therefore, everything else that is in the world, and I've spoken about this before, about how you can't grasp anything. You can't get to it. You have to use agency. You have to use your senses. They're not you, but they're tools that you use to sort of engage in the world around you. And so when you use something that is remote from you, how do you know it actually exists? I don't really know that what I look at around here really exists. And of course, I trust less what I see online as existing, as indeed you should. You should not listen to me and trust anything I say. Do your own due diligence, do your own research, do your own, and get your own understanding of things. Come to your own conclusions. Stop being led by other people. Stop sort of going, oh yeah, that makes sense. I believe that. One's got to come to one's own determination. Do your own meditation. Do your own thinking. Take yourself inward. Do your own stuff. Basically, is what I'm saying, and I'm waffling about it. So. This Anunnaki business, or this alien business, or this, spacemen from other places and what have you. You see, there's part of me that says I don't think any of this exists. I don't even, there's the flat Earth nonsense. There's the globe nonsense to a degree. There's assimilation nonsense, or there's just I am. It's the fourth way. The fourth, it's just being, and this kind of everything is a bit of an illusion, which I'm beginning more and more to adhere to, that's it. And so within that, how can anybody manufacture something and bring it to life, whether they're aliens or anything? But the problem is, in this space, we've become incredibly vulnerable. And I think this is the crux of it. That, you see, you could put out any old nonsense now, and we've trained ourselves to be very open-minded. We've almost lost the critical thinking bit. We've become so open-minded that someone will suggest, oh yeah, aliens came down, they manufactured people, and we go, oh yeah, well, that's not mainstream, is it? So it must be true, or it must be worth considering. And then we make videos about it, or people do, and people sort of think about it, and then drip by drip, slowly, these ideas become almost ingrained in people's consciousness. So they start to think, yeah, it must be true that aliens came down and manufactured people. That actually all of this may well, in fact, be manipulated by, say, the dark forces or what have you, who have a long-term plan. That's how they plan things, in this very long-term thing. So they drip by drip the idea that perhaps we are not what we are. And the reason for doing that, like so many of these things, is to make us inferior, to make us feel that we are just a speck in the universe, that we are insignificant, that we have no power. And I would turn that around and say that those people who are suggesting anything that says that we have no power are wrong, because I believe completely the opposite, that we are so powerful. And this is why we've been targeted, why we've been dumbed down, why we've been enslaved, why we're in this complete fake world of legal fictions, fraud, corruption and everything else, and why we've been duped to believe all the crap that we do. And I think the business with the Anunnaki and aliens and is part of it. That actually when you sit in the silence and when you contemplate and when you think for yourself and when you understand who and what you are, you start to realize that actually we are far more powerful, that we haven't been edited, we haven't been changed. That's what they want us to think. And so that down the line, we'll start to see more of these blue beam spaceships and all of this nonsense. And that we'll go, oh my God, yes, it must be the Anunnaki or the whatever, the Pleiadians or whoever they are, coming back to get us, to make us feel vulnerable, insignificant and pointless. And yet, that seems to me much more a deliberate plan than, because we're so vulnerable now and we're so open to ideas, we'll accept anything that's not mainstream, and we'll go, oh yeah, there's got to be, and it's so much easier for the dark forces to point to a few things and paint a little narrative that those of us who are perhaps more aware of things go, oh, there's this kind of evidence, and we see patterns, we jump to our speculation, we jump to theories, we start going, oh yeah, we must be this, we must be some insignificant thing. And I would say no, we are the only thing, we are the most powerful thing, and that the dark forces are actually nothing, but they're cunning and they're clever, and they have tried to tell us that we are useless, and yet we are not. We are completely the opposite. That if we only knew it, and if only accepted it, and only believed it, that we are probably the most powerful creatures in the universe, for we are the universe, that we are connected to everything, that we are one and the same. And of course, fear is their method to get us, oh, look, up there, that's something horrible and frightening, and oh gosh, we're nobody. And yet actually the power that we call love, that power of forgiveness, that power of belief in who and what we are, and understanding who and knowing what we are, is the thing that they do not want us to do. They do not want it, because they, like the wicked witch in the West, will wither and die the minute that we realise that actually the fraudulent rubbish, including the corruption of government and all the legal fictions and all of that sort of business, but beyond all of that is rubbish, and we can actually turn around and say, no, we're not. That's what they don't want us to know, and that's where our power lies. And so I get a bit frustrated with these people who are peddling all these stories to make us feel insignificant, because we're not. We are definitely not. Thank you for watching. If you disagree with anything I say, good for you. Good for you. Do your own thinking and come to your own conclusions. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you donating and keeping the channel going, and I will see you on the next one. Till then, bye-bye.